Hi guys, we are here today to show you how to rig and tune the AC1 so that you're not gonna waste time on the beach the day you wanna sail it. And for sure it's better if you rig it the first time at home, maybe taking half an hour, a bit of time just to tune up every detail, and I'm gonna show you step by step how you have to do it. As soon as I unroll the sail, I'm gonna put a lot of tension in the bottom 4 buttons so that I know every button is all the way into the pocket, and then I'm gonna remove the tension and I'm gonna pull it again back so that I know how much tension I'm gonna put it. So basically you go all the way, okay, you put plenty of tension, because many times when they build the sail, they don't care if they put the button all the way into the pocket, so you need to take care of it. Okay, so now you see it's bending. It means there is a lot of tension in the button, and it means also that the button is all the way inside the pocket. Now I remove the tension all the way, and when I don't feel tension anymore, I'm gonna go back little by little until I feel a little bit of pressure. Okay, and now it's tuned. Now this button is done. And I'm gonna do it with this one, with this one, with this one, and with this one. So the bottom 4 buttons. As you can see, this is the C100, and this is the mast I recommend you. For sure you can use also the 80% carbon, but the sail is built on this mast, so I guess if you want the top performance, you need to use this one. If you're gonna buy this sail, I guess you know that you have to slide the mast on top of the cambers and not below or inside the cambers. So we're gonna go all the way inside, using also the front pocket. And here is a good tip I can give you. When the sail is brand new, you gotta check carefully if the plug goes into the mast. So you come here with the finger and you check. A good tip I can give you is to check if the plug goes into the mast. How you check it? You just come here with the finger, you feel if the plug is all the way into the mast. The first time you have to do it, because many times as the sail is brand new, the mast is gonna go out by itself. From the second time on, it's gonna be easy. You're gonna just put the mast in and it's gonna go. But check it out, because if you go on the water and it comes out, it's never a good thing. If you use a Point-7 extension, you can just check over there in the bottom of the sail which one is the right length, and you just adjust the extension and you put it in. If you use a different extension, that you need to rig it up and check if it's right or wrong, as every extension has its own length actually. Okay. Otherwise, you can also use the trim system that is here on this bottom button on the sail. You just put the pulley here, and then you adjust the extension. As you can see, it's perfect. So if you have a different extension, also this is a good way to check it. After shredding the rope into the pulley, you just pull the downhole until you have 10 to 15 centimeters left here, and it's gonna be the right length to allow you to put the cambers in. So we start with the camber below the boom with the long button. You put your left hand on the mast, you grab the mast, and with the right hand you push inside so that the button goes down, you see? And with your knee you just press the camber in. It's super easy. Your left hand stays on the mast, and you just move the right hand a bit higher. You push down, and with your knee you push the camber on top of the boom in. Okay, now is the time for the top cam. You just put the hand inside the pocket, you press down, and with the knee you push the cam in. So now it's time for the lower cam. You put your right hand on the extension, below the extension, so you hold the sail, and the hands goes in as it went for the top cam. You press down, and with your knee you push the camber in. As you can see at this stage, the pocket has no tension, so the sail has no performance like this. You have to still pull the downhole. So now we go pulling the downhole, and we are gonna pull it until there is good tension on the mast sleeve. Okay, you see now the sleeve has changed and there is good tension here. Now it's time to put the boom in, so that then we can explain you how to adjust the outhole and to millimeter adjust the downhole. And then we're gonna take care of the tension on the top buttons. We slide the boom from below, and I suggest you to put the head of the boom in the center part of the sleeve. The height you're gonna adjust it later on. So here you have two holes. You can choose the higher one or the lower one. I'm using the higher one for more power and more stability on 9.2, 8.6, 7.8 and 7.1. While on 6.2 and 5.6 I use the lower one so that the sail gets softer and is much easier if you get hit by a really strong gust. But it's up to you, it's up to the condition where you sail, and just try both of them and decide what is better for you. So here you can see the boom length. If you use the boom in the middle of your pocket, then the boom length is right, especially if you use a 0.7 boom. If you put it higher, you need to put a couple of centimeters more in the boom, while if you put it lower, you're gonna put a couple of centimeters less. Anyway, just check here. Here you don't have to have a lot of space, but this much, more or less, so that you can play with the outhole. If it's light winds, you can leave it like this. If it's really strong, you have space to pull more. I use the adjustable outholes for sure, and I try to trim them so that they are in the middle, as you can see, so I can actually give more tension to the outhole or release it. Otherwise, if you're stuck in one position, it's not nice. And they are on the same position on both sides. So now with the boom on, you have a nice view of the leech, and you can see how the buttons are falling. So you have to count the buttons from the top, and you have to check if the number 4, 5 and 6, these three buttons, are on the same line. If they are not, we have to work in that direction to have them on the same line, otherwise they're gonna get slower. So mostly the biggest thing you have to do is to release the pressure of these two as much as you can, as you want them having no pressure, so that you're gonna get the max of the speed you want. As you can see, they have no pressure. Just don't release too much, because then you're gonna lose the button tensioner. And then I'm gonna look at this one and see if it's on the same line or not. So it looks good, and I leave it like this. Now, after we adjusted the tension, we can see how they fold the buttons properly, and if the number 5 is too high comparing to number 6 or 4, that means we have to put more downhole on the sail. In this case, I already removed the tension from these buttons, number 5 and 6, and number 5 is still a bit too high than number 4 and number 6. Then that means that I have to pull more downhole. Pulling more downhole doesn't mean I have to go all the way down, but it means I will just adjust it by 1 centimeter or even less. Something like this. Now it doesn't matter if you still have space here, because the sail is brand new, and if you checked properly how the leech is falling and all the buttons, that means that the sail is ready to go on the water. You don't have to think about it. And it's also good to leave some space here, because in the future for sure the mast sleeve is gonna stretch a little bit, and maybe you're gonna need some space here to get a bit more pressure. Now that buttons 4, 5 and 6 are ready, we have to talk and think about the number 7 and 8, so the lower buttons. And as before rigging, we put it tension removed, and then we adjust the tension perfectly. They should be alright as they are. If you have too much pressure in the cam rotation and you see that the sail is stiff rotating, that means that you can release a little bit of pressure from these two buttons. So now we are on the top of the sail, number 1, 2 and 3. Number 1, you have to put a lot of tension. So you go all the way and you put plenty of tension on this one. Okay. There's already quite a lot, so it's alright. And number 2, you go midway. So it has tension, but not as much as number 1. So I'm gonna give a little bit of tension just to feel the pressure on the button key, but then I stop. Number 3, I'm gonna just check out if there are wrinkles. There is a small wrinkle here, so I'm gonna remove it, but it doesn't need so much tension, this button. Alright. We put tension to these 2 buttons to create kind of a winglet effect, like for the airplanes, and you get more stability and more power. As the top of the sail is moving all the time you are sailing, because the weather is choppy and the sail is moving all the time, for sure these buttons are gonna release the tension after a while. So after like 3-4 times, check the tension again. So this is the tech strap, and we use it to remove this movement from the bottom of the sail, put tension in this part. Okay, we pull it, but we're not gonna pull it too much. We're just gonna check if this part is still loose or not. No? As soon as it's not loose anymore, like now here, as you can see, it's nice. I'm gonna leave it as it is. Why? Because if I put too much tension, I'm gonna close this button too much, and in stronger winds you need this button to open, okay? While if I put too much tension, you don't allow this movement happening, and then you're gonna get stuck with power.